All right, get ready to dive deep as we unpack X culture and all the essentials you need to not only survive, but thrive in this whirlwind of international virtual teamwork.
It's fascinating how this experience mirrors what you'll face in the global workforce. We're going to break down this X Culture training module step by step so you can ace this project and gain real world skills that employers value.
Think of us as your X culture mentors, guiding you through each challenge and helping you unlock the immense learning potential of this experience. So let's start with the basics. What exactly is X culture all about?
You'll be part of a global virtual team, GVT for short, for around 8 weeks, your team. Students like yourself, but from different countries, each bringing unique cultural perspectives.
It's like a mini United Nation, but instead of debating world peace, you're tackling real-life business challenges for actual clients.
That's where it gets exciting. You're not just working on hypothetical case studies, you're developing solutions for companies facing genuine business dilemmas.
So what does this mean for you? Get ready for a demanding but incredibly rewarding experience. X Culture is known to push students beyond their comfort zones, testing their limits, and ultimately leading to massive personal and professional growth.
You'll be sharpening your collaboration skills, navigating cultural differences, and mastering virtual communication. These skills, future employers love them. Consider X Culture your training ground for success in the global workforce.
Now let's get down to the nitty-gritty details because preparation is key. We're talking time commitment, evaluation, and those crucial peer evaluations that can make or break your X Culture journey.
First, time commitment. You're looking at dedicating about 20 to 40 hours throughout the semester to truly excel in this project. It's not a walk in the park, but the learning and connections you'll make are worth every minute.
Speaking of worth, let's break down how your hard work will be evaluated. It all begins with the readiness test, your ticket to joining a team. You need to score at least 80% on this to prove you're ready to handle this global collaboration adventure.
Think of it as a warm-up, ensuring everyone's on the same page and ready to dive in.
Then, throughout the project, you'll have weekly progress reports. These aren't just busy work, they're your chance to show your individual contributions, keep the team on track, and demonstrate your commitment.
And here's where it gets real peer evaluations. Every week, you'll be rating each other on things like effort, intellectual contribution, leadership, friendliness, and writing support. This is where teamwork truly comes into play, and everyone needs to contribute their fair share.
Remember, these peer evaluations have consequences. Consistent negative feedback from your teammates can get you removed from the team, which can seriously impact your grade. Be a good teammate, contribute, and be ready to collaborate.
Of course, your final report's quality is crucial. Expert appraisers will meticulously evaluate everything from the quality of each section and creativity of your solutions to the depth of your analysis, formatting, and even checking for plagiarism. Originality and thoroughness are essential.
Now, before we dive into the specifics of teamwork and those all-important communication tools, let's talk about one of the biggest hurdles teams face, the human element.
It's not always about cultural or language differences. Often, it's the team dynamics, the way you communicate and collaborate, that can make or break the project.
So let's address the elephant in the room, how to divide the workload fairly and efficiently. There are two main approaches, but one is definitely more effective than the other.
Some teams split the work by report section, with each member taking a specific part. Seems logical, right?
It appears straightforward, but in reality, this often leads to chaos. Unequal work distribution, inconsistent writing styles, and missed opportunities for that amazing collaboration that makes X Culture special.
Imagine building a house where everyone's working on their own room without considering how it all comes together. You end up with a Frankenstein house, and nobody wants that.
We've seen X Culture teams struggle with this approach. Communication breaks down, sections clash, and the final product lacks that cohesive flow that screams, "We worked as a team."
A much smoother approach is dividing the workload by function. This involves assigning roles like coordinator, researcher, writer, editor, and so on. But here's the key. Before diving into individual tasks, the whole team brainstorms all the questions together, making sure everyone grasps the big picture and the client's needs.
It's like a well-oiled machine where each part has a role, but they all work together seamlessly. You get a smoother process and a much more cohesive final product.
Speaking of well-oiled machines, let's discuss leadership in X culture. Whether it's a formally elected leader or someone who naturally emerges, having a leader significantly improves team performance.
This leader is like the conductor of your X Culture orchestra, making sure everyone's in tune, playing the right notes at the right time, and working together to create a masterpiece.
They keep everyone coordinated, send reminders, facilitate decision-making, and prevent things from falling apart in the virtual world.
So don't be afraid to step up. If you see a leadership gap, fill it. Your team and your grade will thank you.
Now let's discuss communication, the lifeblood of any successful team, especially in X Culture's virtual world. Some teams rely solely on email, which is familiar and reliable, but can be slow and clunky for dynamic team collaboration.
Imagine trying to have a rapid-fire conversation through handwritten letters. It just won't cut it in the fast-paced world of X culture.
You end up with message overload, confusion, conflicting document versions, and slow decision-making. Not exactly a recipe for success.
We heard a story about an X culture team that nearly missed a deadline because they relied solely on email. A crucial update got buried in a mountain of messages, and they didn't see it until it was almost too late.
They dodged a bullet, but the lesson is clear. Email alone isn't enough. You need a more dynamic and collaborative communication toolkit.
Think of it this way. If email is your old bicycle, then tools like Zoom, Skype, Google Docs, and Dropbox are your sleek sports cars, ready to take your team communication to the next level.
We'll explore these tools later, but for now, know that they allow for real-time communication, co-editing of documents, easy file sharing, and seamless meeting scheduling. These tools will make your X culture journey smoother and more enjoyable.
It's time to ditch those old school methods and jump into the world of essential communication tools for X culture.
We're talking about the platforms that will transform your team's collaboration from a bumpy road to a smooth, high-speed journey.
Let's start with the heavy hitters, the must-have tools that will become your virtual companions throughout this X culture adventure. First up, Zoom, your go-to for video conferencing.
Zoom's like having a virtual conference room at your fingertips, gathering your team no matter where they are for brainstorming, updates, or just face-to-face interaction to build trust.
It's your digital headquarters for team communication, sharing screens, presenting ideas, even recording those brainstorming sessions, like capturing lightning in a bottle.
And Zoom is incredibly user-friendly. Scheduling meetings is a breeze. It automatically adjusts for time zones, so need more late-night or early morning calls.
For quick chats, instant messages, and file sharing, Skype is your trusty sidekick, like having a direct line to your teammates wherever they are.
Skype's perfect for those quick questions, urgent updates, or just checking in. Plus, audio and video calls, a versatile tool for formal and informal communication.
Now let's talk about the dynamic duo of collaborative document creation, Google Docs and Dropbox. They'll revolutionize how your team writes, edits, and shares information. No more endless email chains with conflicting versions.
Google Docs is like a massive virtual whiteboard where everyone can contribute simultaneously. You can see each other's edits, comment on sections, and create a seamless flow of ideas. It's like magic, but without the wands.
And Dropbox, your central hub for those large files, presentations, articles, anything your team needs. Plus, it integrates seamlessly with Zoom and Skype, making your workflow smoother.
Think of Dropbox as your team's digital filing cabinet, organized, accessible, and backed up. No more lost files, no version control nightmares.
And when scheduling a meeting feels like solving a Rubik's Cube while juggling, Doodle is here to save the day.
Doodle is a lifesaver for coordinating meetings across time zones. You propose options, teammates vote, and voila! Doodle finds the time that works for everyone. Your personal scheduling assistant.
No more back and forth emails, no more scheduling conflicts, just pure efficiency. Doodle is your weapon against the time zone beast.
Let's not forget social media. Facebook groups, for example, can create a dedicated space for your team, discussions, file sharing, and staying connected.
It's like a virtual team lounge where you can hang out, brainstorm, share updates, and build those social connections.
And Facebook groups is familiar to most, so the learning curve is minimal. Jump right in and collaborate.
For visual learners who love organized projects, Trello is fantastic.
Trello's a giant virtual bulletin board. Create boards, lists, and cards representing tasks, deadlines, and progress. A visual feast for project management.
Assign tasks, add comments, attachments, keep all project information centralized and accessible. Your X Culture Command Center.
And Trello is incredibly customizable, adapted to your team's needs and workflow, a chameleon of project management tools.
Now let's address the elephant in the room. Artificial intelligence, AI, specifically platforms like ChatGPT.
AI is powerful, but raises questions about ethics, plagiarism, and learning. X Culture has guidelines on AI use, so let's break it down.
Using AI to complete assignments is a no-go. It defeats the purpose of learning and is plagiarism, with serious consequences.
AI is a helpful assistant, not a replacement. It's valuable for brainstorming, research, translation, and writing feedback. But use it ethically and responsibly.
Always evaluate AI-provided information critically, check accuracy, and use it as a supplement, not a shortcut.
AI can be helpful for tutoring. If you're struggling, AI can offer explanations, examples, and quizzes, like a 2047 personalized tutor.
AI can also be great for translation. If your team has multilingual members, AI translation tools can bridge the gap. Just remember, they're not perfect, so double-check accuracy.
AI is also helpful for writing feedback. AI writing assistants analyze text, identify errors, suggest improvements for clarity, and even strengthen arguments. Like a personal editor, but without the judgment.
Remember to use AI with a critical eye. Don't accept everything blindly. Check sources, verify information, and remember, Learning comes from your analysis and thinking, not regurgitating what a machine says.
AI is a tool. Like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad. It's up to you to use it ethically, responsibly, and in a way that enhances your learning.
We've covered tools and discussed AI. Now let's tackle X-culture challenges, starting with time zone differences.
When your team's global, finding a meeting time can feel impossible. But we have strategies and tools to help.
Be mindful of teammates' locations and time zones. When proposing meeting times, consider their schedules and the time difference. A little consideration goes a long way.
And this is where Doodle shines and adjusts for time zones so you can see what works best for everyone. No more accidentally scheduling a meeting at 3:00 a.m. for someone.
Be flexible and willing to compromise. It's unlikely to find a perfect time, so adjust your schedule or take turns. Teamwork is about compromise.
Don't forget asynchronous tools. If you don't need real-time conversation, use email, messaging apps, or Trello to communicate, share, or delegate.
No, language differences. English is the official language, but not everyone's a native speaker. How do you ensure effective communication with language barriers?
Empathy and understanding are key. Teammates might be working hard to communicate in a non-native language. Be patient, supportive, and avoid assumptions about their proficiency.
Don't hesitate to ask for clarification. It's better to ask than to pretend you understand when you're lost.
Exactly. And if you're struggling to understand written communication, use a translation tool like Google Translate. Just double-check with your teammate to ensure accuracy.
Use clear and concise language. Avoid idioms, slang, or jargon that might confuse non-native speakers.
Don't underestimate visuals. Charts, graphs, images, even emojis can bridge the gap.
Beyond language, there are cultural differences. Your teammates might have different communication styles, work ethics, or approaches to problems. It's a mini United Nations.
This diversity can be a huge asset, but it requires sensitivity. Be respectful of cultural backgrounds, avoid assumptions, and be open to learning.
Building social connections can help bridge those divides. The more you understand each other, the better you can navigate differences.
Let's discuss free riders, teammates who don't pull their weight. We've all encountered them.
It's like a flat tire on a road trip. It slows you down and can ruin the experience.
Sometimes it's unintentional. They might be struggling, overwhelmed, or unsure of expectations.
And sometimes they're just taking advantage.
Regardless, address it proactively and constructively. Communicate, talk to them directly, express concerns, and try to understand. A conversation can clear up misunderstandings.
A clear team charter is helpful. If you've outlined expectations, roles, and consequences, you have a framework for accountability.
If talking doesn't work, escalate it to your instructor or the X-Culture team. They have resources and experience. You're not alone.
The X-Culture team ensures a positive and productive experience for everyone and addresses free riding.
Now, poor quality work. You might receive a section that's poorly written, lacks research, or doesn't meet requirements.
Don't panic. Everyone makes mistakes. They might be struggling, have a different understanding, or just having a bad day.
Be constructive. Instead of criticizing, offer feedback and support. Coach them to improve.
Be specific. Point out areas for improvement and offer suggestions. And remember, feedback goes both ways. Encourage questions and collaboration.
If feedback doesn't work, bring in another teammate or ask your instructor. Ensure the final product reflects the team's best work.
Regularly checking each other's work can prevent these issues. If you're using Dropbox or Google Docs, provide feedback and suggest improvements as you go.
Remember, X-Culture is about learning, supporting each other, providing feedback, and striving for excellence. It's not about perfection. It's about continuous improvement.
We've covered a lot. Time zones, language barriers, free riders, and poor quality work. But X-Culture is about collaboration, learning, and growth.
Embrace the challenges, support each other, and create something remarkable. Push yourselves, expand horizons, and develop skills for the future.
Even when things get tough, remember the bigger picture. You're gaining valuable skills, building connections, and preparing for the future of work. Stay positive and enjoy the ride. We've talked about the tools, the teamwork, and how to deal with those almost inevitable bumps in the road.
Now, let's focus on making the most of X-Culture and creating a standout project.
We'll unpack strategies for not just acing the project, but also developing those highly sought-after skills employers value in today's globalized world.
Remember, X-Culture isn't about checking off tasks. It's about cultivating a global mindset.
It's about understanding how businesses operate across different cultures and learning to effectively navigate those complexities.
It's like a hands-on crash course in international business. You're in the driver's seat, making decisions, solving problems, and experiencing those real-world challenges firsthand.
That real-world experience is what makes X-Culture so unique. So how can we maximize your learning and create a truly exceptional project?
First and foremost, embrace diversity.
Right. Your team is like a miniature global marketplace, a blend of cultures, experiences, and ideas.
Don't let those differences become obstacles. See them as strengths.
You essentially have a team of expert consultants, each specializing in a different region or market.
Use that collective knowledge to gain insights that you wouldn't have on your own.
It's having a global network right there, a wealth of perspectives that can really enrich your understanding of the challenge and help you come up with more creative and effective solutions.
And don't just settle for the first solution that comes to mind. Go deeper. Challenge those assumptions.
Absolutely. Explore different perspectives.
Remember, the goal is to develop a solution that's not only innovative, but also feasible and tailored to your client's specific needs.
That requires thinking outside the box, questioning the status quo, and pushing yourselves to create something truly unique. Don't be afraid to challenge each other's ideas, respectfully, of course. Yes, constructive debate can often lead to those aha moments where you uncover a truly groundbreaking solution.
And remember, throughout this journey, you're not alone.
You have your instructors, the X-Culture team, and even your fellow participants as resources.
Don't hesitate to reach out for help.
Think of them as your X-Culture support system, your cheerleaders, and your guides through this challenging but rewarding experience.
Use their knowledge, their experience, their willingness to help you succeed.
And don't forget those peer evaluations.
They're not just about grading each other.
Right. They're an opportunity to give constructive feedback, learn from each other's strengths, and pinpoint areas for improvement.
Take those evaluations seriously, both giving and receiving feedback.
It's a chance to reflect on your performance, acknowledge your contributions, and see where you can grow.
And let's talk about the final effect, the culmination of all your efforts.
This is your chance to showcase your team's creativity, analytical skills, and that ability to develop a compelling solution.
It needs to be powerful.
So how do we make it count?
Think of your final report as a story, a narrative that guides your audience through your team's process, analysis, and ultimately, your solution.
Make it engaging, make it persuasive, make it a testament to your team's hard work.
Here are a few key tips.
Let's hear them.
Clarity is paramount. Your ideas need to be presented in a clear, concise, and well-organized way.
Avoid using jargon or overly technical language that could confuse your audience.
Exactly. It's like translating your complex ideas into something anyone can understand, regardless of their background.
The clearer the communication, the stronger the impact.
And never underestimate the power of visuals. Charts, graphs, and images can make your data more engaging and more persuasive.
A well-placed visual can often convey complex information much better than a paragraph of text.
Remember, you're telling a story, and visuals can make that story come alive.
Now let's talk research.
Yes, your report needs to be backed by solid research.
Absolutely. Support your claims with data, statistics, and credible sources.
Don't just assert something, provide the evidence.
And remember those plagiarism guidelines we discussed.
Oh, absolutely.
Cite your sources properly.
Yes, give credit where it's due and ensure the originality of your work.
Now, beyond the content itself, presentation is important.
Yes, it is.
Take the time to format your report professionally, using a consistent font, clear headings, and a visually appealing layout.
It's like presenting your ideas in their best light.
A well-presented report shows pride in your work and respect for your audience.
It makes it easier to read and leaves a good impression.
And it shows that you've paid attention to those little details that make a big difference.
Absolutely.
So we've covered the key elements of a strong final report.
We have, and as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay, I'm listening.
The skills you're honing in X-culture collaboration, communication, problem solving, intercultural awareness, these are the skills that employers are actively looking for.
These are the skills that can give you a real edge.
Absolutely, and they'll open doors to exciting opportunities and empower you to make a real difference in the world.
So to everyone listening, embrace this X-culture experience. Learn from it, grow from it, and let it shape you into the global leaders of tomorrow.
The world needs your talent, your passion, and your global perspective.
We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, from the specifics of the project to those broader skills that will benefit you far beyond this experience.
We've discussed the challenges, the strategies, and the incredible potential of this global collaboration.
Now it's your turn. Take all this, put it into action, and make your mark. Good luck.
We're cheering you on every step of the way.